Hey everybody, Tim Miller from the Bulwark here. We have some breaking news. Former Trump National Security Advisor turned Trump critic John Bolton's home was raided this morning by the FBI before 7 a.m. Eastern time. I hopped on a live stream with Lawfare's Ben Wittes, who was first on the scene reporting this. He had some video from the street outside Bolton's house, which has been shut down, had information confirmed by the local police that it was an FBI raid. About half hour or so after Wittes and we at the Bulwark reported on this raid, the FBI confirmed to the New York Post, their propaganda rag of choice, that this was, in fact, a raid on John Bolton's home, and that it was related to, what did they say? A national security probe, they called it. I think that at this point we have reporting from other national security reporters who have confirmed this is related to the classified documents case back in 2020. If you don't remember, Trump administration was pissed that John Bolton was writing a book critiquing Trump. There's some pushback that he had not had some of the material in that book approved through the normal channels that you go through to get sensitive information approved before you can publish it in a book. There was an open investigation to him at the time. This raid appears to be at least tangentially related to that. Maybe there's some related classified documents issues we don't know. This had to be approved by a judge. I think it's important to note. So they presented at least some evidence to a judge that judge felt merited a search. So that's where we are right now. I want to play for you this live stream that we were doing over on Substack. Shout out to Ben Wittes, who initiated that live stream. He writes for Lawfare, and his Substack is Dog Shirt Daily. So go ahead and check that out. So stick around. Here's me and Ben Wittes live this morning. Outside, well, Ben Wittes at least is outside of John Bolton's house. I'm here in my studio, and we'll be back soon with more on this matter.
I am here on Fernwood Road in Bethesda, Maryland, where I believe the FBI is conducting executing a search warrant. I'm not sure exactly what is happening, but I believe there is a search going on at the home of John Bolton. The street, as you'll see, is sealed off by the Montgomery County Police, who have informed me that they are here in support of FBI activity. The FBI activity appears to be directly in front of the house that I believe to be owned by John Bolton, the former National Security Advisor. This is consistent with the FBI's normal practice of executing search warrants early in the morning. Let me give you everything I know about this action. Number one, of course, John Bolton was the National Security Advisor during the first Trump administration for a period of, 17, 18 months. It was tumultuous. And as you will recall, after his departure, he wrote a scathing book about Trump and has been a fierce Trump critic ever since. The book, and I'm doing this from memory, so if some of the details are wrong, please forgive me. The book was submitted to pre-publication review, but it was submitted to pre-publication review only after and then publication review dragged on forever, and Bolton felt that there was they were trying to silence him. and stifle criticism. I believe it had to go through pre-pub twice. Once it was cleared, and then the second time there was supposed classified material found in it. He went ahead and published anyway, and the administration launched a criminal investigation. That criminal investigation uh, ended, as far as I can tell, when the Biden administration came in. And according to a very cursory survey, the statute of limitations for any charges related to that book, which was published in 2020, would be expiring very soon. So here is my very loose hypothesis as to what is going on here. And I can't get any closer than this. As you can see, I'm standing at the police line. There is no other press here. And so here is what I think is happening, which is that among the national security officials who Trump really has a bee in his bonnet to get, most of them, as I have explained in my columns, have really zero criminal exposure. And it really takes an act of paranoid fantasy to think you're going to indict John Brennan, so you can see there a guy in an FBI jacket up there. I can't zoom in any further, but this is definitely an FBI operation, not these cars notwithstanding a Montgomery County police operation. And so we've got at least 3 FBI vehicles there, as well as there may be more. So among the officials who have, I mean, Bolton is really the only one, I think, with any significant exposure. He's got he did actually publish something after defying pre-pub review, and he did, and the government has contended, whether correctly or tendentiously, that there is classified material in there. The statute of limitations is about to run. I think they have nothing, as best as I've been able to discern, on anybody else. And so you have a sudden situation where they very much want scalps, and a senior official scalp is really the gold standard. And so, Mr. Bolton is a highly attractive figure. And by the way, doing it by search warrant is theatrical. It's impossible for me to imagine that you couldn't get anything you wanted from John Bolton with a subpoena. But then if you do that, you don't get a scene like this. And so an early morning thing that the press will call a raid, and without, assuming that this is a court authorized, lawfully executed search warrant, and not, a raid. That's that said, doing it this way allows a lot of pictures. So we are joined now by Tyler McBrien, our managing editor at Lawfare. Tyler, can you hear me okay?
Sure can. Can you hear me?
Yep, I hear you just fine. I don't know how much there is to do here other than what we've already done, which is to alert people that this is happening, maybe to alert some of the rest of the press. And I have sent some pictures of this, what's going on, to friends at a media organization that will identify itself if it so chooses and in a manner in which it chooses. But for those who are just joining us, the FBI appears to be conducting a search warrant. I assume it is not an arrest, but there is FBI activity at a house that I believe to be John Bolton's house in Bethesda. And this is a uh, um, uh, I assume it is related to the investigation of Bolton's book, and the classified information investigation that took place and I had thought was closed, although maybe it was reopened or maybe it was never closed. I know of no other reason why the FBI would be executing a search warrant at John Bolton's house. But if they are going to move on this and actually charge him, they have a very limited window of time in which to do it. So what else can I tell you, Tyler?
What else are you seeing? How many law enforcement officials are there?
So there are at least 4 Montgomery County police vehicles, but before I started live streaming, the MoCo officers told me they were here in support of the FBI. I have seen 2 or 3 cars I assume to be FBI, and I have seen one car that I've seen some personnel, at least one person wearing an FBI jacket. So this is definitely an FBI operation. I have visual confirmation of that, and I have confirmation of that from the Montgomery County Police.
So, what happens now? What do you imagine is taking place inside the house, and where do you see this going?
Well, so I mean, uh, first of all, a search warrant is a long affair, and I'm not going to stay to live stream the whole thing. Message to the rest of the press. I'm going to be here for about another 10 or 15 minutes, and then I'm going to go home and do Dog Shirt TV at 8 o'clock as normally scheduled. So, if you want to follow this thing, CNN, New York Times, get your asses out to the corner of Bradley Boulevard and Fernwood. I would feel better about leaving if somebody else were here, honestly. But what's going to happen is, a search warrant is often an all-day affair. So what they have done is they've sealed off both ends of the street. They will have already, I'm sure, pounded on the door and announced their presence. And they will, I assume that Bolton is calling his lawyer as we speak, or has already done so. I wouldn't be surprised if his lawyer, who I assume is Chuck Cooper, will show up at some time in the near future. And then they will go through the house looking for the things they have specified in the warrant. I don't know if that's classified material or allegedly classified material that they're seeking to recover, or if it's something else. I don't know what the purported basis for the warrant is. And okay, so here is another unmarked car that is clearly, a vehicle, a law enforcement vehicle of some kind. I assume this is an FBI vehicle. And so, they have a list of things that they're looking for. And they are under the terms of the warrant assuming everything was done properly, entitled to go through the house and find the material that they're looking for. The um, uh, um,
It-
so they will be here as long as they can, and of course they have to itemize everything that they seize and present a list of it to Mr. Bolton.
And Ben, can you remind us if we'll see that list of items, if this warrant will be unsealed, and if so, if it's possible, how long that typically takes?
Well, they always eventually get unsealed if something is charged. If something's not charged, then it gets a little bit muddier. But generally speaking, um, uh, if you do uh, when you do a warrant like this, you're gonna get in a high profile case, unless there's some significant national security reason, you're going to eventually see it unsealed. Um, you know, um, Look, I don't know what they are purporting to recover, what they're looking for. And I don't know what the basis of the search warrant is, right? Is it, hello, Tim Miller?
Hello, Ben Wittes. How are things in Bethesda this morning?
Well, it's a lovely morning in Bethesda. I've had pleasant interactions with these two Montgomery County police officers who uh, came to check on me earlier, and another one down the block, a plainclothes officer. And they informed me that they're here in support of the FBI, which is, they did not confirm, but they did not uh, object to my characterization of it as conducting a search warrant at the home of John Bolton. They certainly didn't contradict that. And when they asked me what Lawfare was, and I told them our interest in this, which is we're a national security publication. John Bolton was the national security advisor. We were very interested in his book, and we followed the investigation of his book. I was told, wow, you seem to know a lot about this case. Might you be of assistance to the investigation? Um, and um, and they seem to be a little bit puzzled as to why I was here, or uh,
Hmm.
how I knew to be here, which I'm certainly
Maybe
not
they're
going to talk
recruiting
about.
you. There's a big ICE recruitment effort right
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
Potentially there's an FBI recruitment effort as
So I
well.
have had no contact with the Bureau, only with Montgomery County police officers who I want to say were totally professional. I saw them under weird circumstances, which was that
Yeah.
I was sitting outside John Bolton's house. Um, and they thought I was trespassing and asked me to move. And they asked me what I was doing there. And I said, I'm expecting police action. And a little while later, realized I was not a crazy person stalking John
Well, I don't know
Bolton,
about
but I was
that. You might be
following
both a crazy person in there for good reason. So is the entire block there
the entire
going
street
on?
is sealed off from. So this runs from Bradley Boulevard down to a street called Green Tree down there, and I assume they have sealed it off at both ends.
Hmm. And what's the extent? I mean, right now we can just kind of see the Montgomery County Police. Like, what is the
Yeah, so
extent of?
there are three, probably more at least, black vehicles up there that are FBI, and I did see one person get out wearing a FBI jacket. It was not Kash Patel. Um, and Yeah, so I mean, honestly, this is going to sound like a weird thing to say, but my main concern right now is for John,
Yeah.
whom I don't know well, but I and have deep political differences with, but I think is, I can't imagine under what circumstances an FBI early morning raid on his house rather than say a subpoena is the appropriate way to get documents from him.
Yeah.
Ben, what about press? Have any news vans showed up yet?
There are no press here, and I am still the only one, and I will not be here for much longer because I have Dog Shirt TV at 8:00, and that
The
shit
show must go on.
no man or beast.
Can Dog Shirt TV not be streamed from Bethesda?
Well, Dog Shirt TV requires we have a guest today, and so I think I'm happy to get up at 4 a.m. to be out here, but I'm not going to stay here all day. So,
yeah. And it's worth noting that they, that I think one of Trump's first actions when he went into office was to, get rid of John Bolton's clearance, and then eventually stripped security from John Bolton altogether. He had federal protection because of the Iranian plot against him. So, and this is not coming from nowhere. He was also in Kash Patel's book. He was listed on the members of the executive branch deep state.
Okay, so you can now see, I don't know if anybody can see this, but I can see it. There are a number of law enforcement personnel there, some of whom are wearing FBI jackets on the other side of that black car. If I had a problem,
kind of hard to see.
I'm not sure if it's visible, but it's definitely there.
Ben Wittes' eyes better than the iPhone camera.
The iPhone camera is zoomed out, and I don't think I can zoom it in. It doesn't zoom really. So, look, I mean, my assumption is that this is an effort to beat the clock. This was a loose end from the previous Trump administration, and this is an effort to beat the clock on a fast running statute.
Hey, Ben, we actually do. They've leaked this news to their preferred outlet, the New York Post. So let's see. New York Post has this: FBI agents raided John Bolton's DC area home Friday morning in a quote high-profile national security probe. The Post can exclusively reveal. I guess the Post is not monitoring the Dog Shirt Daily Substack live stream, but there you go. They describe it this way: federal agents busted into Bolton's house at 7 a.m. Investigation ordered by the FBI, and they've got pictures of Bolton leaving the house here. The New York Post does, so I guess they were along for the ride along.
Yeah, they may have gotten a ride along. I wasn't offered a ride along. But if anybody, is asking, how did the New York Post find out about this? The answer is, loose lips sink ships, but they also do a world of good for publicity and right-wing media, and we know which is the preferred, which is the higher priority for these people. I don't know that there's much else for me to tell you guys from here. I don't think the view is going to change very much. I can try to walk around to where I may be able to get a different view of it, but I'm not sure. Let me see if I can do that. I'm not optimistic about getting a frontal view of the house.
Yeah,
No.
we have a tweet from Kash Patel. No one is above the law. All caps. No one. FBI agents on a mission.
Yeah. So I would like to point out that it is not the normal practice of the FBI to announce uh, search warrant executions midstream by tweet. Um, and that is an absolutely outrageous thing for Kash Patel to do. We are now getting a few other people here with us. But I think I am going to sign off pretty soon because my job is done, was to make sure that this news became available through somebody more responsible than the New York Post faster.
I agree. Thanks so much for your work out there, Ben, and everybody else. We'll probably pop on the Bulwark with some folks here in, I don't know, maybe in a half an hour or so with additional stuff. And you can watch Ben on Dog Shirt Daily. We'll be talking to y'all soon.